The body doesn't collapse all at once. It withdraws quietly, strength fades in small negotiations. Energy leaves without announcement. Circulation slows while life still looks normal from the outside. Most men over 50 don't feel sick. They feel slightly off, heavier in the morning, slower to warm up, less sharp after meals, and they assume this is age doing what age does. But age is rarely the first cause, it's usually the final excuse. What's happening underneath is far less dramatic, and far more important. Inside the body, systems that once worked in rhythm begin drifting out of sync. Blood vessels lose flexibility, metabolism becomes cautious. Hormonal signals arrive late or incomplete, not because the body is broken, but because it's adapting to years of patterns it was never designed for. This is where food stops being just food. It becomes instruction. For decades, men were taught to focus on big changes, hard workouts, strict diets, sudden fixes. But after 50, the body responds better to subtle corrections done consistently than to aggressive overhauls done briefly. One of those quiet corrections begins in a place most men overlook completely: how fats and acids enter the body together. Olive oil has long been respected, not as a miracle, but as a steady companion to health. Cultures that relied on it didn't live forever, but many lived with fewer metabolic complications. Research suggests that certain fats in olive oil may support vascular flexibility and cellular communication, especially when used regularly and moderately. But olive oil alone enters a body shaped by modern habits: long sitting, late meals, elevated stress, reduced insulin sensitivity. In that environment, even good fats don't always behave as intended. This is where vinegar enters the story, quietly, without drama. Vinegar isn't a cure. It doesn't cleanse or detox, but research suggests that mild acidic compounds may help improve how the body responds to glucose, especially after meals. They slow digestion slightly. They may reduce sharp blood sugar spikes. And over time, that matters more than men realize. Blood flow isn't just about the heart, it's about timing. When blood sugar spikes repeatedly, the inner lining of blood vessels takes small hits. Inflammation rises subtly. Nitric oxide signaling, essential for vessel relaxation, becomes less efficient. Circulation doesn't stop, it stiffens. Men feel this as cold hands, slower recovery, reduced endurance, or simply feeling older than they expect. Now, a brief but important note: what you're hearing here is for education and awareness only. It's not medical advice, and it doesn't replace guidance from a qualified healthcare professional. Everybody has its own history, and respect for that matters. Back inside the system, 3 mechanisms are quietly shaping how men over 50 feel every day. The first is metabolic flexibility, the body's ability to switch smoothly between fuel sources. In younger years, this shift happens easily. With age and modern eating patterns, it becomes rigid. Meals hit harder, energy crashes faster, fat storage becomes defensive. The second is vascular signaling, how blood vessels respond to cues to widen or narrow. This isn't about blockages alone, it's about responsiveness. Research suggests that consistent dietary patterns that reduce inflammation and glucose volatility may support healthier vessel behavior over time. The third is hormonal rhythm. Testosterone, cortisol, and insulin don't disappear with age, but their timing changes. Late-night eating, constant snacking, and stress flatten these rhythms. Men don't lose hormones overnight, they lose coordination. Here's the uncomfortable truth many men don't want to hear. Eating healthy foods randomly is not the same as eating with physiological awareness. Olive oil added generously to a plate already overloaded with refined carbohydrates may not deliver its full benefit. The body is too busy managing glucose chaos to listen to subtle nutritional signals. This isn't anyone's fault. Doctors treat disease, not daily patterns. Nutrition advice is often fragmented. Men do what they can with what they're told. But after 50, progress comes less from adding more, and more from pairing things correctly. When olive oil is combined with a small amount of vinegar in meals, not as a trend, but as a habit, the body receives mixed signals that work together. Fat absorption slows, glucose response softens, digestive pacing improves. Over weeks, not days, this may support better metabolic control and vascular function. Not dramatically, quietly, this is not about chasing blood flow as a sensation. It's about restoring conversation between systems that have stopped listening to each other. And this is where discipline replaces intensity. A realistic correction protocol for men over 50 is boring by design. Consistent meal timing, moderate portions, olive oil used intentionally, not excessively, vinegar used gently, not aggressively, walking more than sitting, sleeping before midnight more often than not, no rush, no punishment. Men who expect results in days usually quit in weeks. Men who respect timelines often notice changes in months that last for years. Strength after 50 is not loud, it's stable. By the time a man notices his energy lasting longer between meals, or his morning stiffness easing slightly, the body has already been adapting quietly for weeks. This isn't about being younger again. It's about not aging faster than necessary. And there's more to this story, because what most men believe about healthy fats may actually be slowing their progress without them realizing it for years. Men were told a simple message: add healthy fats and everything improves. Olive oil became the symbol of that idea. And like most simplified truths, it worked until it didn't. What many men don't realize is that after 50, the body doesn't struggle with fat itself. It struggles with fat arriving at the wrong moment, in the wrong metabolic environment. When olive oil is added to meals that already push blood sugar high, white bread, large rice portions, sweet sauces, the body faces a mixed demand. Insulin rises to manage glucose, while fats wait to be processed. The result isn't immediate harm, it's delay, congestion, a slow buildup of inefficiency. Men feel this as heaviness after eating, sleepiness. That quiet thought, why does food hit me harder now? Vinegar changes the timing of this moment. Research suggests that acidic compounds may slow gastric emptying slightly. That means food leaves the stomach more gradually. Glucose enters the bloodstream at a calmer pace. Insulin doesn't spike as aggressively. Blood vessels don't tighten defensively. This matters because circulation is not just pipes and pressure, it's behavior. Blood vessels respond to signals. When those signals are chaotic, vessels stiffen. When signals are predictable, vessels relax. This is why the olive oil plus vinegar combination is powerful, because it's exotic. It's powerful because it's boring and consistent. It works with the body's tempo instead of against it. Now let's talk about the second system that quietly shapes men's health after 50. Energy allocation. In younger years, the body spends energy freely. It builds muscle easily. It recovers quickly. After 50, the body becomes selective. It protects reserves. It avoids waste. After 50, testosterone doesn't vanish. It becomes sensitive. It responds to sleep quality, blood sugar stability, and stress load more than ever. Cortisol, the stress hormone, often stays elevated longer than it should, especially in men who eat late, snack constantly, or stay wired into screens at night. When cortisol stays high, blood vessels tighten. Fat storage increases. Testosterone signaling weakens. No supplement fixes this, but rhythm helps. Meals that don't shock the system, evenings that wind down. Fats and acids that slow digestion instead of rushing it. These aren't hacks, they're corrections. Here's another uncomfortable misconception. Many men believe that if something is natural, more of it must be better. More olive oil, more salads drenched in it, more fat because carbs are blamed for everything. But excess, even of good things, still demands processing. After 50, restraint becomes a strength. Olive oil works best when it's measured, not poured. Vinegar works best when it's gentle, not aggressive. The body doesn't reward intensity anymore. It rewards respect. This is where the mindset must shift. Health after 50 is not about proving toughness. It's about maintaining authority over your habits. A sustainable protocol doesn't look impressive on social media. It looks repetitive in real life. To consistent meals, one larger, one lighter. Olive oil used with intention, a small amount of vinegar before or with meals that contain carbohydrates. Daily walking, strength training that preserves muscle, not punishes joints. Weeks pass quietly, no dramatic changes. Then one day, a man notices something subtle. He finished a meal and doesn't need to sit down. He wakes up and doesn't negotiate with his body. Circulation feels less sluggish. Hands warmer. Focus steadier. This is not reversal. It's alignment, and alignment compounds. There's still one more layer most men overlook: the psychological cost of inconsistency, and how it silently undermines every nutrition strategy. No matter how good it looks on paper, consistency is heavier than any supplement. It is quiet, it is invisible until it is undeniable. Men often try olive oil one week, skip it the next, then add vinegar inconsistently. The body notices, it remembers. Systems revert to chaos. Energy dips, circulation slows, hormonal signaling weakens. The lesson is subtle, almost cruel. The body rewards predictability more than effort and bursts. This is why patience is essential. Meaningful improvement does not arrive in days. It arrives in weeks, months, through repeated patterns that respect the body's natural tempo. Over time, three things become clear. First, the body responds to harmony, not heroics. Second, small corrections compound. Third, a man's respect for his own discipline translates into physiological benefit. Strength, circulation, and stamina all follow the rhythm of his choices. Men often overlook identity in this process. They focus on performance numbers on a scale or blood markers while missing the larger truth. The body and mind thrive when habits reflect self-respect, foresight, and responsibility. Masculine values that extend far beyond the gym or the kitchen. Olive oil paired with vinegar is not a shortcut. It is a tool in the larger architecture of care. Used with consistent meal timing, portion awareness, walking, and mindful sleep, it supports a metabolic and vascular environment conducive to better energy, circulation, and hormonal balance. Over months, not days, these patterns begin to produce tangible differences: lighter digestion, steadier energy, improved morning mobility, and a sense of quiet resilience. The final insight is humbling. Health after 50 is not about regaining youth or chasing extremes. It is about stewardship of the body, of habits, of life. Consistency, patience, and subtle nutrition choices shape the quality of decades yet to come. If you have been silent about your routines, if effort has felt chaotic, consider this: the simplest combination: olive oil plus vinegar, applied consistently within mindful lifestyle patterns, can quietly support systems that often feel like they are slipping away. This is not an advertisement, it is a call to observation. Notice your body, respect its tempo, honor its rhythms. Over time, you will see change, not in dramatic leaps, but in quiet victories that speak directly to your vitality and self-respect. Men who take these steps do not merely preserve health, they reclaim authority over their own bodies, they rediscover confidence in daily living, and they experience a subtle satisfaction that comes not from immediate results, but from knowing they are doing what is necessary, intelligently and consistently. At the core, this is more than nutrition. It is identity. It is discipline. It is a reflection of responsibility, the kind that defines masculinity beyond superficial measures. By integrating olive oil and vinegar thoughtfully into your meals, paired with walking, moderate exercise, and consistent sleep, you can nurture circulation, hormonal balance, and metabolic flexibility over months, not days. The changes are incremental, but profound. And as you continue, you become part of a quiet community of men who value health as a long-term commitment, not a fleeting achievement. The journey does not end with a single meal or a single choice. It unfolds quietly, day by day, week by week, as habits compound into resilience. Men over 50 who respect their bodies with consistency, patience, and intelligent nutrition, olive oil paired with vinegar, mindful eating, movement, and sleep, find more than physical improvement. They find a restored rhythm, a sense of control, and a quiet confidence that comes from stewardship rather than shortcuts. True strength is measured not in immediate results, but in the ability to honor the body, maintain discipline, and take responsibility for the decades ahead. Small, thoughtful actions shape long-term vitality. Every drop of oil, every splash of vinegar, every mindful step, and every night of restful sleep become part of a larger story. A story of a man who chose consistency over convenience, respect over neglect, and health over indifference. In the end, the message is simple. The body responds to care, not haste, to patterns, not panic, and to responsibility, not chance. Start small, stay consistent, and over time, you reclaim not just your health, but the quiet authority and confidence that comes with it, a legacy of discipline and self-respect that defines true masculinity after 50.